Hello, one and all. Welcome back to Marvel March. And today we are talking mainly about Avengers Age of Ultron and a brief little paragraph about Ant-Man at the end.
A paragraph.
I mean, yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, it'll be short.
But I remember when this was first announced as Avengers Age of Ultron, I bet everyone was like, what? Wasn't Thanos supposed to be the villain of Avengers 2? No, he was not.
It's actually pretty funny because Thanos has nothing to do with this movie whatsoever.
No, this has nothing to do with Thanos. This is Ultron. See, I think a lot of people just expected Ultron was going to be the main villain of the Ant-Man movie.
Oh, right.
Because Hank Pym is the one who created him in the comics.
Yep.
But nope, Ultron is the second Avengers villain, which... Okay, fine. I can't really argue with them picking Ultron.
I mean, honestly, people talk a lot of crap about this movie, but I think it's solid.
I think people talked crap about it because of... It's a pretty big step down from the first one.
I would not say a pretty big step down, but I guess it is a little bit.
Part of the thing is the first movie had the charm of, oh my god, look, the Avengers are all teaming up! And now it's like, okay, so they're teaming up to fight a robot version of Tony Stark. Okay.
But
I guess.
It's James Spader, though.
But he is very clearly Robot Iron Man.
Yeah. Anyway, this movie, though, it starts off with a bang. That intro is action-packed.
Can you stop them? They're the Avengers.
I like that literally the first line in the movie is shit.
Yeah. Language! Okay, I still to this day don't understand why he felt the need to say that. Like, Cap, grow a pair, bro.
Because it's funny.
The whole movie, they just rip him apart about it. They don't let him let that slide.
Because it is funny.
Yeah. Are we not going to talk about the fact that Cap just said language? But...
And then, sorry, Hill later, he just said a bad language word.
You kiss your mother with that mouth?
Yeah.
But anyway, something I gotta say right off the bat. Why are Natasha and Bruce Banner together? Where did this come from?
It was a pretty random pairing, and it does not come back after this.
I still don't buy it.
It's just because it's sudden. I want to know, how did she figure out that she could calm Hulk down?
See, I would have more bought her being with Cap, given the last movie.
Yes, yeah, I know that I could see that they had chemistry.
But Bruce Banner, this doesn't make any sense. They didn't have really much interaction outside of like, oh yeah, she went and recruited him in the first movie.
No, it was pretty sudden. It was a strange decision, but I think they realized that because again, it does not come back.
Yeah, no, I think he has like a brief mention, like, "Hey, Nat," in Infinity War, and that's about it.
That's literally just they say hi.
But the Mind Stone is the big Infinity Stone involved in this movie, which we can now talk about properly.
Yeah. Shut up. I didn't do anything. Shut up.
I didn't do it on purpose. But yeah, the Mind Stone is back. But we got to talk about the big thing, which is there's a big alteration from the comics in this movie where Tony Stark is the one who makes Ultron, not Hank Pym. And according to Joss Whedon, the reason they did that is because he needed to be a product of the Avengers. Okay, fine.
I mean, yeah, considering the repercussions it sets up later.
It sets up a lot. But Tony Stark, I get where he's coming from because he is the only one who went through that wormhole and saw what he saw. So he wants to have a suit of armor around the world. He didn't expect the Mind Stone to create this evil AI program. But
I mean, who would? It's kind of weird that happened.
And he's voiced by James Spader for some reason.
I already said that.
Can we talk about the fact that the coolest shot from any of the trailers is just not in this movie?
Which one's that?
When Ultron is like, "There are no strings on me," all menacingly at the end of the first trailer. That's nowhere in the movie.
Oh.
That actually kind of hurt my heart.
I mean, the line is in the movie, it's just not there.
Yeah, correct. Oh, and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are in this movie.
Yes, and they quickly established like this rivalry between Hawkeye and Quicksilver.
You didn't see that coming. You know, Quicksilver is definitely going to carry on in the series, right?
Right? He never even gets called Quicksilver. um, this one is substantially slower than the X-Men version.
Also, just not as cool. I'm just gonna call a spade there.
Well, because they didn't get the slow.
Is Scarlet
speed.
Witch even in the X-Men movies?
No.
Magneto has a daughter, but I don't know if it's specifically Scarlet Witch.
And you see Peter with a small girl, but that wouldn't be his. First off, wouldn't be his twin sister, but also, I don't know. There's no indication that would be Wanda either.
Well, they also changed. Havoc is now Cyclops' older brother instead of the other way around.
That's right. So I don't know. Maybe again, you see Peter with a little girl at one point. Maybe that's Wanda. Who knows? I don't know.
That would be stupid if it was. But anyway,
yeah.
But Ultron creates a body for himself, because of course he does, and recruits Wanda and Quicksilver to fight the Avengers. Can we point out that Cap kind of moved Mjolnir?
Oh yeah.
Ever so slightly.
Actually, dude, after this movie, it was so people just theorized for the longest time, like, okay, hold on, did he fail to move it, or did he deliberately not move it in order to not embarrass Thor?
I don't think he was fully worthy yet.
I don't know if that's how it works.
I'm not sure either.
It might be binary.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain that one.
That whole scene with them hanging out, though, it's a fun one.
What I can explain is, the testosterone levels between Tony Stark and Thor are through the roof, because they're sitting there fighting over whose girlfriend is better.
Jane's better.
I'm gonna say Iron Man's, because she sticks around, unlike Jane. That was mean. I made a mean comment about Thor. I am so sorry.
How dare you?
I'm just saying. Tony stuck around. So now the whole plot of this movie is Ultron wants to save the world by wiping out humanity, because of course he does. How else was this gonna go?
That whole piece in our timeline is the crux of everything that goes wrong. Honestly, it's kind of the same thing that happens in a Tron Legacy, just a misinterpretation of what your programming is supposed to be.
Let me tell you, though, I actually like Ultron.
Yeah, I do too. I don't understand why people complain about him so much, or this movie in general.
I don't get it either, but here we are. So the thing about Ultron is he is a robot version of, I've said this before, but he is a robot version of Tony Stark. That's what he is. What did you think he was going to be like?
Don't tell him that. He might cut your arm off.
Yeah, like in the comics, he was a robot version of Hank Pym, because Hank Pym made him. Who made him in the movie? Tony Stark. So of course he's going to become a robot Tony Stark.
Yeah, okay. Again, I know I just did the Tron Legacy comparison, but there's another layer of it, because same thing.
And also, I'm going to say this straight up. He was a bigger threat than Loki. He about wiped out everybody on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Loki thing would have eventually ended up there, but Ultron would have been pretty quick.
Ultron, yeah, he's scary, and he beat up Thor at one point, which I don't buy that, but we'll get back to that. So Andy Serkis is in this movie for a second.
Yep.
And then,
not doing a mocap character. That's crazy.
And maybe he's going to die in the next movie he's in. Who knows? Andy Serkis dies a lot.
That's true.
Vibranium is mentioned in this movie again, and this is the first mention of Wakanda in the entire series.
That was the whole setup for Claw, who's hoarding, stealing vibranium. Like that's that whole setup for that interaction.
So here's a reason I don't think people were as upset about Ultron or as big into Ultron, because his first fight with Iron Man, Ultron straight up loses.
Well, yeah.
And I think people just thought he was going to be more powerful than he is.
His strength is in numbers.
Yeah, he's not the powerhouse that Thanos is. We'll get to him later.
Oh, you know something weird that disappears after this is Cap's electromagnet shield.
Yeah, he never uses it again, does he?
It's only in this movie.
But the Hulkbuster scene was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for Bruce though.
Is this the first fight Hulk loses in the MCU?
It might be.
I think it's one of only two that he actually loses. But he loses the other one way, way worse than this one. Also, Wanda messing with people's head, that was a thing.
Yeah, you get a glimpse of what haunts everyone except Hawkeye and Hulk.
But I don't think she got Tony.
No, she did at the beginning.
At the beginning, but in that scene in where they were fighting Ultron, no, she did not get him there.
Well, because there was no reason to do it again. We had already done it with Tony at the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
But you don't get to see what Bruce saw because he's off screen at the time, and Hawkeye's the only one who just completely avoids it.
You know what? I'm glad they did that because if he got mind controlled again, it would have been like, okay, Hawkeye, you just suck. Which Hawkeye does suck, but that's
What?
neither here nor there. I'm sorry.
Why? Because he's just a normal human. Hawkeye as a character does not suck.
He's by far the least interesting Avenger.
If you say so.
Oh, I say so. Anyway, him bringing them to his safe house after revealing to everyone he had a wife and a kid. 3 kids, actually.
One's a traitor.
Yeah, because she is Nathaniel, not Natasha. Or he is Nathaniel. I just misgendered a baby. I'm going to get canceled.
Wow. Oh my god. That poor baby.
Though this scene, they actually showed one scene from this movie when they were revealing Phase 3 as like a tease for Civil War, where Cap and Tony were arguing when they were cutting the wood. So to show that there's tension in Captain America 3.
Yeah, it was also in the first Avengers. Pretty much every time they interact, it's like
they're not really friends.
They're co-workers. I don't know.
I mean, though when they get along pretty well. But then they disagree about a lot of things.
But they have a very friendly interaction at the end of the movie.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so how do you feel about Vision?
I think it's an interesting concept, and he goes on to do some important things. But I'm still curious. Why is Jarvis a single entity? Like, why do they actually have to put the only existing Jarvis into Vision? Why, like, he's a program? Why can't he be copied?
Because they don't want Paul Bettany playing multiple characters.
I know that's the real world explanation, but in universe, why the hell can't there be multiple Jarvises? Jarvis?
Because there's Friday, Cody. There's Friday. All right.
There's no good reason.
There isn't, other than they just wanted Paul Bettany to be Vision. And they put the Mind Sword in his head, so if you've been following the series, you just kind of know Vision's destined to die. Poor guy.
Yeah, no, literally, as soon as I saw that was happening, and I realized where the series was going, like, oh, what is happening?
As soon as I saw they had to divide Mind Sword and Vision's head, I was like, okay, so he's going to die.
This can't be good.
But Sokovia, that battle was intense
and long,
dude. That was like a 45-minute final battle. It felt like it anyway.
It's probably at least 30, but
something like that. Oh, we didn't even mention Vision is worthy of Mjolnir.
Oh yeah, no, because they don't trust this new entity, especially after what happened with Ultron. They're like, can we trust this guy? It's like, oh.
And then once he picks up the hammer, Thor's just like, all right.
Instantly, like, oh, yeah, guess he's good.
I mean, if there's a way to prove you're trustworthy, it's by picking up Mjolnir. But then Vision, when he wipes Ultron off the net, Ultron can't. What did that do?
It just made it so he couldn't escape through the internet. Honestly, this is the part where I'm like, okay, if they didn't have Vision, there's no way they could have done that.
They wouldn't have been able to win. Because Ultron could just escape through the internet and get to another body.
And it's just hilarious because Vision was supposed to be Ultron's next body, and he's the reason that they end up winning.
Yeah, he is. Though, when they Vision, Iron Man, and Thor, when they really mess him up, I feel like Ultron was about to surrender because he's like, with the benefit of hindsight. And then Hulk just uppercuts him.
Just realizing he doesn't have a chance. I don't know what it is, but Ultron's final design, like that final body he makes, the vibranium one, I don't know what it just doesn't look right.
I like his other one better.
The one right before it?
Yeah, because he looks too bulky. Though I do like the way he reveals his new body when he like destroys the other one, like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, they do call it out in the movie because Tony's like, "Look, have you been juicing? You look. I don't want to say puffy, so like something does look wrong with him."
And I love how Tony Stark, he even says, I'm gonna take the first crack at Ultron, because I made him. And they're just like, yeah, he hates you the most. Why he hates Tony Stark the most is beyond me, but he hates Tony Stark the most. He's a dick, I guess.
He's got daddy issues, okay?
What is this, Tekken? Anyway. Oh, and Wanda and Quicksilver switch sides when they realize Ultron's gonna like kill everybody.
Literally the next thing I was about to say. Not even kidding.
I guess I can read minds.
No, I've said this before. We share the same brain cell. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
It really is. That's why we have the show together, Cody. But I did laugh when Hulk threw Ultron out of the plane.
Oh, for God's sake!
And then just... man. How many times does Ultron die in this movie?
How many bodies did he have?
A lot.
That's how many.
Oh, when Hulk uppercuts Ultron and the other bodies are just like, nope, I'm out. They just all run away.
Everybody just starts flying away. There's this really cool shot during that fight. I don't think this is done anywhere else in the series, but you see the in-helmet shot of Tony, as usual. But then it like pulls out from his face to the outside of the suit. And I was like, oh, that was a very quick but really cool shot.
That was awesome, actually. I did like the part where they were all like circling around the vibranium weapon that Ultron made, and it was just they were all destroying Ultron bodies. I thought that was
cool. No, that was the hero shot for the final battle for sure.
Every Avengers movie has one.
This one actually has two because there's one at the beginning.
Actually, I don't think Infinity War has a shot like that, does it?
Well, the Avengers aren't the main characters of Infinity
War. I was about to say Infinity War is not an Avengers movie, so
nope.
We'll get to that. You'll understand when we review Infinity War.
Honestly, it's why Infinity War works so well.
Again, we'll get back to Infinity War. But yeah, after they beat Ultron, the other Ultron bodies are like, bye. Nope, we're good. And then War Machine, who is War Machine again, not Iron Patriot, because War Machine's just better.
Yep. Everybody said that.
Falcon's here because he is. Because how did Nick Fury get the helicarrier?
He was still biometrically coded for them, I guess.
That just seemed like a huge super convenience.
They had to get everybody off the floating city somehow.
Now, granted, the MCU is full of stupid conveniences like that, but this was the first one where I was like, oh, okay, that is super convenient.
Yes, it is.
I thought the Avengers were finally going to be like, well, fuck, we might have to kill people to save everybody else. The Avengers aren't going to lose for a while. They're definitely not going to lose in the next movie, are they? But Wanda destroys Ultron's main body after Quicksilver is killed.
Yep, but at least Quicksilver goes out a hero. I mean,
he did save Hawkeye and that kid. So
yeah, I mean, Clint almost died to save that kid, but
you definitely didn't see that coming. Those were his last words. I was like, oh, fuck. And then Vision finds the last remaining Ultron and just wipes him out. So we think. You don't see it happen on screen.
And also they blow up a city.
Yeah, Thor and Iron Man destroy all of Sokovia so it doesn't extinction level wipe out the planet because it was about to destroy everyone.
I wonder if this will have any lingering repercussions.
You're crazy. They'll never bring this up again. That's silly, dog.
Oh, hey, do you remember the thing I said in Guardians of the Galaxy about debris hitting the ground even after the thing in the sky explodes?
I remember that.
At least this movie shows it.
Yes, it all lands in the water. Well, most of it lands in the water. How did Tony Stark survive that?
Because he's that good.
All right. Thor I could buy. He's a god. But Tony's just a dude in a suit of armor. But he's the main character, so he's not allowed to die, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, he's totally not allowed to die. Yep, definitely.
And then we got a mid-credit scene with Thanos, even though, again, he's got nothing at all to do with this movie.
They had to set up Avengers 3. So he's just finally like, I guess after Ronan failed, he was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it myself.
In a few years.
Yeah. But, the end of the movie, they, Thor goes back to Asgard because he has to be there for Thor Ragnarok. Tony's like, I'll see you later. Bye. And then, Cap and Hulk takes a Quinjet and just flies away. He just fucks off. And then Cap and Natasha, I did it right this time.
Are you sure
recruit the new Avengers.
You sure that's not Scarlet Witch?
She is in this movie. But Cap and Natasha are now trading Wanda, Falcon, Vision, and War Machine to be. I don't want to call them New Avengers because those actually exist. But
yeah, that's something else.
The second wave of Avengers. And he says, "Avengers up." Cut to credits. That pissed me off so much the first time I saw this movie.
They had to save it for the end, which isn't the end.
Yeah. So, Age of Ultron is a fun movie. It is. But it doesn't have the magic special tingly feeling I got from the first movie.
That's because this is the second time they're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no major complaints about this. I don't know why people complain about this one so much.
I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's as good as the first one, personally. Well, you know people, they complain just to complain because it's the easiest thing in the world to do.
That's very true. They are pretty whiny.
Yeah, I know plenty of them. I'm not going to call them out on here.
Okay.
But you're right, though. Why is Thanos the post-credit scene 2 Avengers movies in a row?
I mean, at least in the first Avengers, he was related to the plot. In this one, he's not at all.
I did remember, I saw a fake post-credit scene with Spider-Man that someone filmed a fake post-credit scene of Spider-Man seeing somebody wipe off a window, and I was like, that's not real.
Yeah, but it's funny though, because I think he got thrown into Civil War at like the last second, so whoever made that couldn't have known at this point.
No, we'll get to that on next week, next time actually.
Oh yeah, and that's another big one.
But before then, let's pivot over to Ant-Man very briefly.
Yep. I mean, okay, so Ant-Man, it's a fun movie.
But the thing about Ant-Man is, this was originally supposed to be the first movie of Phase 3.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But they wanted Phase 3 to start with a bang, so they just kind of moved Ant-Man to the end of Phase 2, which really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh, and then they do it again later.
Yeah, it makes less sense there. Actually, no, it makes more sense there, but we'll get to that later.
No, that other one angers me.
We'll get there. Ant-Man does not follow the original Ant-Man. It actually follows the second Ant-Man, Scott Lang, who is played by Paul Rudd. Who I never thought I'd see Paul Rudd as a superhero ever in my life, but he is actually a really good Scott Lang. He does a good job.
This one's more framed as action comedy, so it works. This is the first time I remember seeing de-aging that actually looked good, because Michael Douglas at the beginning looks almost perfect.
Dude, he does. And then you have John Slattery back from Iron Man 2 as Howard Stark. So, why?
because it's a flashback and he was still alive.
Yes, but the fact that there are 2 Howard Starks that look nothing alike bothers me.
Technically, there's a third one that was briefly seen in the first movie.
Look, he's basically not canon, okay? He's a body double. But you got that flashback with Hank Pym because, he had the Pym particle, which he hid away because his wife used it to go subatomic and just faded away.
I wonder if that'll come back later.
You're funny.
So this was almost an Edgar Wright movie. Like I think he was signed on to this for like 8 years.
If I remember correctly, we did mention in the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World review. Wow. How different would this movie have been if he directed it?
Stylistically, quite a bit, but he does still have writing credit, so he did do. Again, he was signed on to this. I want to say for like 8 years. He was supposed to be making an Ant-Man movie, and then
why did he get kicked off?
There was I think it was Edgar Wright who said this. It was he wanted to make a Marvel movie, but Marvel did not want to make an Edgar Wright movie.
Right.
So it sounds like there were things he wanted to do that they just wouldn't let him. So he's like, all right, I guess I'm out.
So Peyton Reed, the guy who directed Bring It On, is here. Okay, I guess.
He did fine. Honestly, like the shrinking scenes all look pretty dang cool. So
yeah, he does. So did you know Ant-Man even existed before this movie?
I don't know, honestly. I can't. Going back now, I'm like, I don't know who I was and wasn't aware of.
So I actually did know Ant-Man existed because of a cartoon on Fox Kids back in the day where he was the main character, and it was awful.
Wow.
Don't ever watch it. But
okay.
But that's how I knew Ant-Man, and I was like, oh, Ant-Man's in a movie. This is gonna be lame. And if you compare it to the previous movie, you shouldn't, because they're
they're totally different things. That was a world destruction. This is more of a father-daughter love story.
Father-daughter love story heist movie.
Yes, and then it ends up being a heist movie.
That's part of why this being the final movie of Phase 2 is so frustrating, because it's so small scale.
Not as frustrating as Phase 3, but whatever. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We will fucking get there.
I love when he gives his daughter the that little freaking stuffed thing, and he's so ugly. I love him.
She loves her daddy, even though her daddy was a petty thief.
Yeah, I'm actually. So was she visiting him in prison? Because he was in prison for 3 years.
Maybe, or he was called. Like he probably used his phone calls to call her.
Yeah, that's more likely. But
because her mom probably wouldn't have wanted to see him like that, and he probably lied about where he was to not like hurt his daughter's feelings.
Maybe, but 3 years, man.
Yeah, he got fired from Baskin Robbins.
It's because Baskin Robbins always finds out.
That was so stupid. Let me tell you, I know I'm the fucking. I'm not going to say that. I know most people won't agree with me on this. I find his crew of friends really fucking annoying.
Oh yeah, no, they are. Again, it's the comedy element. They're supposed to be silly and stupid, but
the fact that there's a rapper as one of his friends in this movie is just crazy to me. But
yeah,
but they're there. Though by large, the best character in this movie is Hank Pym, because Michael Douglas is just so good as Hank Pym.
Honestly, I don't think he really gets it though. I don't know if you've ever seen him in interviews, but he just does not seem to care about this character or series at all.
Not a fucking bit, but he plays the role very well. Well, kind of like Harrison Ford.
It actually, yeah, that is a decent comparison.
But when Paul Rudd steals the suit, air quotes,
yep.
When he first learns how to use it, it's pretty neat.
It's just getting thrown around. That is a cool scene.
But here's the thing about this movie is this whole movie is just Hank Pym recruits Scott Lang to steal a thing.
It really is. And
Darren Cross don't care about him.
Yeah, dude, he's so weird. Everything he says is just like mildly unsettling, and then he goes and just gooifies a guy.
And then a goat.
Oh, poor goat, baby goat.
That pissed me off.
It's supposed to. This dude sucks. And so yeah, the whole thing they're trying to do is stop Darren Cross from replicating the Pym particle and weaponizing it, which on paper it sounds weird that like shrinking tech could be such a big threat.
But you gotta remember, when you're that small and you're jumping that fast and you're punching people, you're like a bullet.
Yeah, but it's more than that. Because later on, turns out the Pym particle can do a lot more than just shrink a dude.
Yeah!
So, again, it sounds silly that would be such a threatening weapon.
We'll get to that in Endgame.
But yeah, this is like the most complicated heist setup in history.
And not really much more to say about this movie. There's not a lot to this movie. It's small scale, both figuratively and literally.
Yeah. I want to know, okay, so at one point he puts on the suit in, not even exaggerating, 4 seconds.
Because he's Scott fucking Lang. From
the ground to fully suited up in 4 seconds.
Listen, man, when you're determined, you're determined.
No.
The final battle was kind of fun with changing the sizes of ants and Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, no, that whole fight in Cassie's room is hilarious.
But the best part of the fight was when Ant-Man had to go subatomic to kill him, because he totally died. He's not going to come back in a really stupid role in the third Ant-Man movie.
God,
right?
Jesus.
Right? But because the whole thing was Hank Pym's wife and Hope's mother, who we haven't even mentioned, but Hope exists, did the same thing, and she was stuck in the quantum realm. Scott got himself out because he used these weapons that Hank created to make things bigger, put it in the suit, and used it to get himself out of there.
That shouldn't have worked.
No, it should not have, but you can't have Scott Lang stuck in the quantum realm because he has to be in Civil War.
No. But this is yet again a character sacrificing themselves at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because he did not know he was going to be able to get out.
Nope. He was just like, I'm going to save my daughter, which, noble cause, you're a good person for it, but you pulled it out of your ass. How did you know that was going to work, Scott?
It shouldn't have.
But it did. Somehow.
Oh, right. We also skipped over the fact that he fought Falcon and kind of won.
So, It's funny you mentioned that because I actually saw this movie at an early screening. Like I think I saw it like 3 weeks early, and when I saw that, I was like, "Oh shit, Falcon's in this." Let me not put this on the internet because I could have revealed that to so many people and everyone would have hated me.
Oh, back when you were spoiling things. Got it.
Yeah, fuck you, guy. Okay, but otherwise, it's not a bad movie. It's really not. It's just it's really its placement in the MCU that bothers me. Because it even does take place after Age of Ultron. Because they reference the events of Age of Ultron in this movie.
Yep.
So, if this movie was just in the middle of Phase 2, I've been like, oh yeah, that was fine. But because it's the end of Phase 2...
Sandwiched in between two very important movies.
Big, important movies that set up the MCU further.
Which happens again later.
Ant-Man just can't catch a break.
No.
That being said, if you just look at it as its own thing, it's fine. It's fun. It's not a bad movie at all. But you have the mid-credits scene, which is Hank shows Hope, I have a suit for you. We call it the Wasp. Totally setting up an Ant-Man sequel. And then, do we even want to talk about the post-credits scene, or do we want to just wait till Civil War? Because it's a scene from Civil War. I guess we'll talk about it. Cap and Falcon have Bucky Barnes, and they're talking about the Sokovia Accords. Because Civil War. We'll get to that soon. What did you think of Ant-Man, Cody?
I think it's a fun movie. It's just until later kind of inconsequential. Like I mean, there's like for instance, at one point, like when they're doing when they're like mid heist, that one dude takes the Pym particle. No follow up on that. Sorry, the Darren particle.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot about that. That still to this day has no resolution. It pisses me off.
Nope, no follow up whatsoever.
Oh, this movie also is the first reference to Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah, actually kind of several. She mentioned several Spider-Man abilities.
Guys who can crawl on walls, guys who swing from webs, something like that.
Yeah.
But again, solid movie, but the placement of it is problematic.
It is.
Good job, Marvel Studios.
Oh, I forgot to say this. Technically, no, not even technically. Age of Ultron does not have a post-credit scene.
No, this is a mid-credit scene.
It's interesting. Just, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, basically. But, I think that's really about it for these two movies, Cody. What do you think?
Yes, I think it is.
Excellent. So, thank you guys for listening this week, and you can probably figure out that next time will be, we're not doing a two-parter because this movie is way too big to split with something else. Captain America: Civil War. This might be the longest review so far because this is a big movie to unpack.
It is.
But we'll see you guys for that next time. Until then, take care.